What if everything you've been told about toughness was a lie? What if staying strong didn't mean building muscle, but building the kind of mind that doesn't break when life punches first? You've heard the phrase, stay hard, but today you're going to understand what it really means. This isn't about lifting weights or shouting motivation. This is about surviving when your soul is tired, pushing forward when everything inside you says stop, and awakening a version of you that even you haven't met yet. But here's the twist. This message isn't just from a Navy SEAL or a man who ran on broken feet. It's a truth echoed in the ancient words of the Quran. It's backed by science. It's lived by warriors. And today, it's reaching you. So don't scroll away. Don't look for something easier. Sit with this. Because what you'll hear in the next few minutes might just change how you see pain, purpose, and the fight inside your mind forever. Let's begin. The phrase, stay hard, when uttered by David Goggins, is often misunderstood as a call to become physically unbreakable, as if the human body is the main battlefield of struggle. But that's not the truth. The real battlefield is internal. It's hidden beneath the skin, beneath the muscle, beneath the heartbeat. It's in the mind. The first key note, stay hard, isn't about physical toughness. It's mental resilience is the foundation upon which everything else David Goggins believes is built. And yet, most people miss it. They see the miles he runs, the ultra marathons, the brutal workouts, the Navy SEAL background, and they assume that strength lies in the muscle. They assume that fortitude is in the legs and lungs, but they couldn't be more wrong. Staying hard is not about proving something to the world. It's about proving something to yourself. It's not about how much you can lift, but how much you can endure without letting it change the essence of who you are. It's about refusing to break when no one's watching. Mental resilience in Goggins' philosophy is the ability to master the dialogue happening inside your own mind. It's the ability to silence the voice that says, quit, give up, you've done enough, you deserve rest. That voice speaks to everyone. It comes for the weak, the strong, the rich, the poor. But what separates the great from the forgotten is what they do when that voice whispers to them. Goggins tells his story not to glorify pain, but to remind people that the mind is a liar. The mind protects you too much. It creates imaginary limits, tells you that you're too tired, that you've had enough, that you'll never make it. And most people listen. Most people obey. Most people back down the moment that voice gets loud. But not Goggins. He calls it the governor, like a speed limiter on a car. And he says it has to be bypassed. You have to override it. Why? Because most of us operate at only 40% of our capability. That's it, 40%. That means when you think you're done, when you think you're completely exhausted, you've still got 60% left in the tank. But you'll never find that extra 60% unless you go through suffering, unless you go through pain, unless you break through that voice. People often see mental resilience as some romantic, abstract concept, but it's not. It's measurable, it's practical, it's tested in the small moments. When you hit snooze on the alarm, when you reach for the junk food, when you skip the workout, when you let your emotions dictate your choices. Staying hard is about choosing discipline when everything inside you wants comfort. It's about getting up when nothing is motivating you. It's about staying calm when chaos erupts around you. It's about not allowing circumstance to control character. Now, what's even more powerful is that this concept of mental resilience doesn't just appear in motivational speeches or SEAL training. It's also found in ancient wisdom, deeply embedded in spiritual teachings. It's echoed in the Quran's concept of jihad al-nafs, the struggle against laziness, weakness, ego, excuses. That is not a physical war. It is an internal war. And Goggins is fighting that same war every day. He just uses different language to describe it. His body was broken, multiple heart surgeries, fractured feet, beat down knees. But the reason he kept going wasn't because he was physically superior. It was because he refused to let his mind become his master. He trained his thoughts the way an athlete trains his body. Repetition, pain, discipline, every day, no excuses. Most people never rewire their thinking because they lived in reaction. They let life push them rather than pushing back. They let their emotions lead instead of leading their emotions. But staying hard means becoming unshakable, not cold, not numb, but clear, focused. It means controlling the mental temperature even when life heats up. That's the power of mental resilience. Goggins grew up in abuse and racism and poverty. He had every excuse to be a victim, every right to blame the world, but instead of letting his past break him, he used it to build his mind. He calls it callousing the mind. Just like hands get tougher with hard labor, so does the mind get stronger through pain. But only if you face it, only if you go through it. That's the secret. Most people run from discomfort. Goggins runs into it because that's where the edge is, that's where growth lives, and growth doesn't care about your feelings. Mental resilience is also about emotional control. It's not enough to be tough when things are good. Can you stay focused when everything is falling apart? Can you stay disciplined when nobody's watching? Can you keep showing up when the applause fades, when the motivation dies, when the goals feel impossible? That's when stay hard becomes real. That's when it means something. It's easy to pretend you're strong when the lights are on, but who are you in the dark? This is why Goggins doesn't seek validation. He doesn't care about praise, because if your strength depends on applause, you're already weak. True resilience comes when your fire is internal, when your reason to keep going doesn't come from external reward, but from a quiet promise you made to yourself. A promise to never surrender, a promise to never stop fighting for the highest version of yourself. People talk about motivation, but motivation is soft. Motivation fades. Resilience is rooted. Motivation is a spark. Resilience is the firewood. One burns fast. The other keeps you warm through the winter. And life has winters, storms, pressure, loneliness, failure, pain. And in those moments, stay hard isn't a catchphrase. It's a survival code, a reminder that you have more inside of you than you could ever imagine, a call to find out who you really are. And what's even more remarkable is that this mental toughness, this unbreakable spirit, is not just for elite athletes or warriors. It's for anyone willing to fight for their mind, anyone willing to suffer for growth, anyone willing to bleed for clarity. That's what Stay Hard is. It's an invitation to rise above the excuses, to stare weakness in the face and say, not today. Mental resilience is also about honesty, raw, brutal honesty with yourself. Goggins calls it the accountability mirror. Every night he looked himself in the mirror and told the truth, no filters, no lies. If he was lazy, he said it. If he was soft, he said it, and then he fixed it. Most people can't handle that kind of honesty. They live behind masks, behind excuses. But the mirror doesn't lie, and neither does pain. Pain is the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. And yet in all of this, Goggins isn't preaching perfection. He's not telling you to never fall. He's telling you to never stay down. That's resilience. It's not about being unshakable. It's about refusing to be destroyed. It's about bouncing back faster, stronger, clearer. It's about becoming immune to failure, not because you avoid it, but because you learn how to use it. And this message is powerful not just in the gym or on the battlefield, but in life, in your relationships, in your business, in your faith, in your personal growth. Because there will always be pressure, always be pain, always be a voice saying, give up. And stay hard is a daily decision to say, no, I'm not done yet. I'm not quitting here. I'm not letting this break me. Mental resilience is the root of greatness. It is the foundation of leadership. It is the pulse of perseverance. And it is something that anyone, yes, anyone can develop, but not everyone will. Because it's hard, because it hurts, because it requires you to look at yourself, truly look and confront the places where you're weak, the places where you're lying, the places where you've given up. But in that confrontation lies freedom. In that pain lies power. And in that relentless decision to keep showing up, to keep pushing, to keep grinding, no matter how you feel, that's where mental resilience becomes real. That's where mental resilience becomes your superpower. And that's where you stop living small and start living on purpose. So in the end, Stay Hard was never about muscles or medals. It was never about being the toughest guy in the room. It was, and always will be, about mastering the only battlefield that truly matters, your own mind. David Goggins' message is a call to every soul that's been broken, every heart that's been tired, every dream that's been doubted. It's a declaration that pain is not the enemy, it's the training ground. That the limits you think exist were put there by fear, not by truth. And truth is, you were made for more. The Quran, science, Goggins, they're all pointing to the same truth, that greatness is not reserved, it is earned. And it begins the moment you stop running from the fire and start walking through it. Stay hard doesn't mean stay angry, it means stay focused, stay disciplined, stay committed to becoming the person you were born to be, even when the world forgets you, doubts you, or leaves you behind. Because real strength, real faith, real purpose, they're not handed to you, they're forged. To every warrior out there fighting silent battles, this is your reminder. Don't give in. Your pain has purpose. Your struggle has meaning. Keep pushing, keep rising, keep believing, because the best version of you is waiting on the other side of discipline. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for walking this path with heart, with courage, and with conviction. Stay strong, stay faithful, and always stay hard.